In this video, we'll discuss how a remarkable journey of fearless leadership assisted the foundation for the most powerful country on Earth. George Washington is often celebrated as a key figure in American history, but does he deserve all that praise? Is George Washington overappreciated, underappreciated, properly appreciated? Let me know in the comments down below. Do we think too high, low, or just right about President George Washington? While George Washington is often celebrated as a key figure in American history, a closer examination of his life reveals a complex perspective and a new view on the most powerful leader in the history of the world. Before we go further, if you're interested in U.S. history just like me, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it would help me out a lot if you share my interest in U.S. history. Imagine being the oldest of 6 children in the Washington household, where every day was a new lesson where you would learn new responsibilities about how to lead a life. George Washington faced these pressures every single day from a young age, shaping him into the fantastic leader that we know and love today. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. At just the age of 11, his father, Augustine Washington, passed away, making him the, quote, man of the house. Washington teamed up with his mother, Mary Ball, to keep the household family farm in shape and well-toiled so it could grow new crops, which they used as a food source. Throughout his teenage years, George Washington worked tirelessly with his mother, Mary Ball, on working on the family farm, so this meant he didn't have much time to receive much of an education. He has now the modern-day equivalent of a grade school education. Despite these challenges, President Washington developed a strong work ethic and a passion to learn that helped him shape the nation. At just 11 years old, George Washington inherited 10 slaves from his father. That really reveals the reality and complexities and the troubling times that he lived through during his upbringing. While he was still a child, this responsibility would shape his views and decisions he made in many, many ways, laying the groundwork for the future and shaping his legacy as a leader. George Washington was not only an exceptionally good president, but his experience as a founding father before are just as, if not more, impressive, and definitely much more founding and much more important to the founding of these United States. In 1775, George Washington remained hopeful that a Declaration of Independence could be achieved without resorting to war, but after the battles of Lexington and the Battle of Concord, as well as the Siege of Boston, that plan and that hope quickly faded. The American War for Independence was on, led by, you guessed it, George Washington. After suffering several defeats, George Washington led his troops in what he felt was a Hail Mary option. He led his troops, including future President James Monroe, across the icy Delaware River in the dead of night the day after Christmas during a cold, chilly December storm. This proved to be the single most essential part in gaining independence from Great Britain. The British, believing they had already secured victory, were caught off guard by Washington and his troops. Washington and his forces achieved a crucial victory, which proved to be a significant morale boost to the United States. Despite George Washington's initial anti-war stance, he ultimately made a bold decision to attack British forces, highlighting his exceptional leadership and commitment to the cause of American independence. As this was happening, the United States officially became a country with the signing of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. However, George Washington never got around to signing it because he was too busy fighting overseas. We forgive you, George, don't worry. George Washington was unanimously elected the first president of the United States thanks to his exemplary leadership displayed during the Revolutionary War and his ability to unite the nation, which no other person and no other founding father had anywhere close to that of George Washington. George Washington's support for the Bill of Rights was instrumental in solidifying the principles of the Constitution of the United States, protecting and ensuring individual liberties, and shaping the nation's democratic foundation. George Washington established numerous precedents for the United States president, most notably the two-term tradition, which has significantly influenced the role of the presidency in the United States. George Washington outlined American democracy by retiring after 8 years in office, confirming that he did not want to be a king. Thus, a two-term president was set and respected for the next 150 years before becoming law in 1951. George Washington's retirement in 1797 underscored his commitment to American democracy, as he believed in the fundamental right of the people to choose their own leader. Despite making several attempts to retire, George Washington's exceptional leadership skills led to significant pressure from the American people to continue serving. His love for his country compelled him to continue, and he even served in the John Adams presidency as commander-in-chief. Tragically, on December 14th, 1799, George Washington, at the age of 67, passed away from complications from epiglottitis, a condition that was not well understood by doctors at that time. In an attempt to treat him, they resorted to bloodletting, which caused Washington to lose over 40% of his blood, ultimately resulting in his death. Is he overappreciated, and has your view changed on that question after watching this video? I'd love to hear from you.